Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And
you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it.
Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city. Support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eye. I love this store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eye's a magazine as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Oh, we got a good one lined up for you on a gorgeous Monday afternoon. I don't know about you, but were you up earlier this morning? It is indeed New Orleans, although it looked like, I don't know what, Armageddon this morning? It was really dark, like nighttime at 8 in the morning. It looked like dusk or dawn at 8 a.m. Very, very dark. All cars on the road with their lights on. Just some ominous weather rolling in this morning. And it came. Pretty severe thunder showers in the early morning, 8:30, 9:30, 10 a.m. And then things kind of faded out. And then after lunch, the clouds broke. And right now they're really breaking. I mean, blue skies, sun, daylight till about 7:30. You got about 3.5 hours of daylight. A good 3:15, 3 hours and 15 minutes. You can do a lot. Knock out 18 holes of golf. Go play a few sets of tennis. Head to the hunting blind, the fishing hole. Knock out that landscaping project. You can plant a lot of azaleas in 3 hours and 15 minutes. Knock out a couple of yards. Go for a nice long walk, a jog. Get outside. Walk the dog. Walk yourself. It's just nice outside. Drop coals tonight. Do some grilling. No, this morning was as bad as it gets. This afternoon's about as nice as it gets. A little warmish, 81 degrees, which is kind of yikes. A little scary considering tomorrow is April 1st. And this isn't an early April Fool joke. It's just how it is. 81 degrees already. 70s and 80s all week. All right, you ready for some good news? Next week, like at least, the week out 10-day forecast, and in the middle of next week, lots of 50s and 60s next week. We need that 50s and 60s gimmick because we're fading into April. We know it's coming. We got 6 months of heat and humidity. We're on the doorstep of it. So the longer we can stretch out this non-summer season, the better. Coupled with the fact that the start of next week, lots of 50s and 60s. I don't know if it stretches into next weekend, but I'm certainly hoping it does because it's the first weekend of French Quarter Fest. If they could get 50s and 60s at French Quarter Fest, even with clouds, with no rain, it's going to be a grand slam home run. We definitely don't want any rain. We don't want any rainouts. It's 4 days. It's a free festival. More people go to French Quarter Fest in 4 days than 8 days of Jazz Fest. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. 70s and 80s all week, but next week we start out 50s and 60s, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm hoping that continues into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because a week from this Thursday, 10 days away, French Quarter Fest 2025. That means 2 weeks from this Thursday, round 1, Zurich Classic, the PGA Tour stop on the West Bank. And 3 weeks from this Thursday, Jazz Festival Weekend 1. 4 weeks from Thursday, Jazz Festival Weekend 2. Or Dose, as Mario, a.k.a. Latinx, would say. He's at the controls, fielding your phone calls, running the controls. He's sort of like the ideal female relationship, although we're just having a working relationship. Mario speaks no English. So that's the kind of girl I'm looking for. I don't speak any foreign languages. I'm looking for a woman that doesn't speak any foreign languages. A buddy of mine married a European who speaks English fluently. And my former wife used to joke, just because it was my buddy, only, blah, 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 would marry someone who doesn't speak English. And he doesn't speak any foreign languages. It was, I guess you have to be there, Mario, a.k.a. Latinx.
See.
Wow, with the accent. I do that, and it's, politically incorrect. Mario, a.k.a. Latinx, does it. It's perfection. Anyway, Mario's fielding your phone calls. We have taught him a few things, and with perfect English accent. And it's Corey Johnson Show. Where are you calling from? What's your name? It's perfect. And then he goes right back into no English at all. And then he also just smooth as silk, like this guy's a yat. Hang on, we'll be right with you. It's just mind-blowing. You've really smoothed out all those edges, Mario Latinx.
Gracias.
Oh, boy. Anyway, Mario is fielding your phone calls. He's just a yatty cat like me. Where are you from, Mario? Is it New Orleans or BR?
New Orleans, technically Kenner.
Canberra.
America's City.
America's City. Did you just say that?
Yes.
Wow.
I missed that on Billboard.
I mean, you feel that way, or you're just reading off the sign?
No, just right off the sign. Instead, I don't see as much anymore.
I like the honesty. America's City. Wow. Anyway, there's 17 from Kenner going, yeah, it is American City, Corey. Screw you, dude. I like the sign, the brick one that says, welcome to Kenner. And then someone hung a brassiere strap
Yes.
on like the right pillar.
That's awesome.
So like you just see like, welcome to Kenner, brah. It's just, it can't help but go in your head.
You know that's what they throw at the parades too. Like they throw bras.
They throw bras?
Mhm.
Nice. Are women hooked into them or it's strictly just the lingerie item?
I'm not sure how to answer that honestly.
Yeah, wow. 766-9480. That would be a hell of a Mardi Gras throw. We're throwing brassieres with women connected into them. For some reason in 2025, this isn't going over well, Mario. Some folks are offended by these very funny jokes.
Shocking.
It is shocking. 766-9480. What? That they're offended or the jokes are funny?
That they're offended.
766-9480. 766-9480. A full slate. Too many topics to get to. All 4 constitutional amendments fail. All 4. We'll break those down for you, what it means. Governor Landry says, we realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that's conditioned for failure. A lot of Louisiana folks are upset at the governor and his comments. A lot of truth to what the governor just said with those comments. There's no doubt about it. Are you kidding me? Take offense all you want. Oh, he's talking down us. Who's the governor? I don't like his right-wing agenda, all that crap. I hear you. Say whatever you want to say. I think the governor is kind of being brutally honest. I'm not saying the amendment should have been a yes vote or not. Just strictly that thought. We realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that is conditioned for failure. I mean, Edwin Edwards, John Alario, Heitmeyer Brothers, C. Ray Nagin, Aaron Broussard, Mark Morial, Bill Jefferson. You want me to continue? My God, it's a joke. It's a joke. St. Bernard Parish, St. Tammany, Walter Reed, the sheriff. I mean, God. We suck at politics. We are terrible at citizens voting responsibly. We're much more concerned. If the choice is possible change to succeed or focus in on black, white, Republican, Democrat, and fail, we're going to focus in on black, white, Republican, Democrat, and fail. At least you losers are. So, no, I got my arm around Jeff Landry. We're probably about the same height. And has anyone been more critical of this governor while he was running for election and as governor? Hell, they lined him up for me and then canceled it. The media relations person won't even return my emails anymore. I'm literally going to have to go find the governor again when he's in New Orleans, approach him and explain this to him, and then he's going to say, okay, Corey, I'll come on your show. I'll get in touch with Kate, send her an email again, and we're going to start the whole process over again. It's like 20, 30 emails. I got fed up, and then she got fed up with me complaining that he's never coming on. So, no, I'm totally honest, fair, and objective when I'm talking about have I been critical of the governor to a pretty harsh level? Yes. But have I acknowledged, like, Troop NOLA and these economic moves like the Meta AI Center up in the poverty corner of Louisiana? I mean, these are huge gains. Steel mill. So, no, I've said this before, like LSU Law School. Look to your left, look to your right. Next semester, next year, one of those people won't be here. I say it like in Louisiana, New Orleans. Look to your left, look to your right. One of those people sort of second rate, doesn't mind losing, likes the Edwin Edwards mentality, doesn't want to win. Winning's hard. It's a challenge. Coming right back.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. The day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victoria. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Yet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Davey at INSAgency.com. Davey at Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Davey at INSAgency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning is absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East End or West End. Call Young's at 288381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At El Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money. Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you remember, big box, big mistake. Paint. To get the best, you gotta go to hell. Let us steer you right.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans. Precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, the United States. Our products are thoughtfully crafted, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazines as unique as you.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. His father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxford, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter, get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Game-changing innovation, look to the Latham family of companies located in Harahan. The Latham company changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latham.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Conversation. Corey Johnson.
With all due respect, I had no idea you'd got an experimental surgery to have your removed.
Live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
I said with all due respect.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Phone number 766-9480. Telling it like it is every day, not taking the popular opinion, the obvious opinion, but the common sense one and the realistic one. And I'm not scared to stand behind with what I, with how I think. Like the governor, everyone's on Governor Landry for this comment. We realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that's conditioned for failure. How does anyone disagree with that comment? Louisiana and New Orleans, not in a vacuum versus ourselves. Man, we did a great job with Crawfish Fest this year compared to last year. But outside the levee system, Louisiana versus other states, New Orleans versus other cities, it's not even friggin' close. In case you haven't been paying attention, I don't know, the last 30, 40, 50 years? Seriously. I mean, you got to be asleep at the wheel. Texas is the fastest growing state in the country the last 30, 40, 50 years. The South, the fastest growing region. Everyone's moving here. Louisiana, I often say, we didn't miss the boat. We missed the rocket ship. It wasn't some little boat sailing quietly. We were having a party. It was going in the other direction. We missed it. It was a rocket ship with a big orange flame, lighting the treetops on fire. Everyone saw it. We stopped the party. We just stared at it and watched it. The southern region, Texas. No, look at the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Explosive growth. The eastern shore of Mobile, Alabama, Panama City, Florida, some of the fastest growing regions in the country. We're freaking surrounded by it. I mean, places that Mobile, Birmingham, taking off. I'm waiting for Jackson, Mississippi to start taking off. That seems inevitable, right? Because we're like the only place that isn't. If it's a festival, if it's a party, and hell, even the meteorologists with their over-the-top weather predictions, 50-mile-an-hour winds for Mardi Gras Day, 50-mile-an-hour winds 2 weeks later. When have you started predicting that crap? Stop with the 50-mile-an-hour wind stuff. And people, go back to how it used to be. And unless it's just an insane forecast, 5 days out, you show up for the St. Patrick's Day Italian-Irish parade. And if it rains, then you used to cancel. But my God, that was the best day to March on Saturday. Are you kidding? Mardi Gras Day was fantastic. Windy, but wasn't rained out. So no, we got to, go over the top on all that stuff. We realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that's conditioned for failure. We like to fail. Failure's easy. Winning's tough. I'm not a Rush Limbaugh fan at all. Not at all. I didn't find the show entertaining, didn't find it funny. Forget about political ideology. I just found it boring, and he doesn't have a sense of humor. And the Rush fans are like, God, he's hilarious. I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess you think your boy Lee Greenwood's a musician, because you're proud to be an American, and where at least I know I'm free. It's easy to make a song like that. I just get down on one knee, and I pray to God that he takes care of me, because it's America and it's a proud place to be. I mean, I could write this all day long. It's a joke. So I'm not a musician. So, I mean, Rush Limbaugh's funny. Lee Greenwood's a musician. Rush Limbaugh said something that I'll never forget. It's about success. You're on a football field. It's 100 yards long. It's 52 and a half yards wide. Every 10 yards, you get a first down. You're starting at the 20. It's 80 yards to score. All of a sudden, you throw a pass up 15 yards, first down. You're at the 35 all of a sudden. But now the field's 80 yards wide, and it's 150 yards long. And then you complete one down the sideline, like a 40-yard pass. The field just grew by 200 yards, and it widened by 100. So you never cross the goal line. The field gets longer and wider as you succeed. Sitting on the sideline, I'll make a great sauce piquant. That's great. I love that. But we've got the culture thing down pat. Festivals, parties, Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, French Quarter. I mean, I just a minute ago, a week from French Quarter Fest. Hope the weather's right. I mean, Jazz Fest coming up, Zurich Classic. We do all that like champs. We're the world leaders. We're the entertainment capital of the world. We got that down in spades. We got Cajun culture. We got New Orleans culture. We got Louisiana culture. We're the kings. We're the champs. The Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 stuff, we suck at that. We're awful at that. We're terrible at that. Our asses are getting handed to us every day, every month, every year, every decade by Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, of course. But Charlotte, Nashville, and Jacksonville, Austin. It's embarrassing, man. Just as an LSU person, it's bad enough Alabama and Saban kicking LSU's butt in football. Alabama doubled their size in the last 25 years. Alabama's academics blow LSU's away, generally speaking. Alabama has more national merit scholars than any school in America, any public school in America. They focused on academics and athletics. LSU, we love our athletics. My school, the school part's secondary. If school does okay, that's great. But athletics better do great. Alabama's like, we're going to be great at both. No, I forgot who said it at LSU. We haven't lived up to it. As good at physics as football. That would be incredible. If LSU academics were at the athletic level, we'd be basically a baby Ivy League school. No, it's just we don't have our priorities right. We're great at the party. We're great at Saturday night at Tiger Stadium. We're not so good at, Coates Hall on a Wednesday for 10:30 class. Doesn't have as much sizzle. The party's great. No, we're great at 5 o'clock Friday to 8:59 Monday morning. At 9 a.m. Monday morning to 5 p.m. Friday, we kind of suck at that stuff. So when Governor Landry says, we realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that is conditioned for failure, he's right. Accept it and change. I'm not saying everybody. There's a bunch of winners. It's what I said earlier. Look to your left, look to your right. One of those people is sort of second rate, doesn't really care about winning, doesn't compete, sort of just like the feather and Forrest Gump, just float through life. Other guys like you and me, earning a paycheck, working, like Anywhere USA. We have a larger than normal percentage. I don't want to say losers, because even those folks I like. But yeah, they're not in the rat race. They're not concerned about electing the best people. I like that Edwin Edwards. If Edwin Edwards was governor today, we wouldn't have these problems. If Mark Morial was mayor, we wouldn't have these problems in New Orleans. I mean, I want to get in a car, accelerate into a big oak tree and crash. It's mind blowing. Jump in front of a semi, Really? Is that really what people think? If Edwin Edwards was in office or Mark Morial? But sadly, that literally is what people think. Some are going, dude, Edwin Edwards, yes, but did you mention the criminal Mark Morial? And there's some people going, Mark Morial, yes, but are you trying to put him in the same category as the criminal Edwin Edwards? Yes. No, we're conditioned for failure in New Orleans and Louisiana. Jeff Landry's right on that. And I'm not talking about, the Soros stuff and the liberal agenda that he was talking about. That's just sour grapes. That's just excuse making. He should have done a better job, his people, promoting these, constitutional amendments. Maybe not bog them down with so many different things, just a single thing. But, he hooked teacher pay raise to, the income tax thing to kind of, grease that along. So I'm not talking about the amendments. I'm just talking about the comment. He's talking about the amendments. The comment comes from the amendments. I think the comment's right, and proof's in the pudding, where how Louisiana competes against other states, how New Orleans competes against other cities. Not so good. I mean, you want to know how I've really accepted New Orleans and Louisiana as I've grown older? I'm like, what kind of a European masterpiece? I kind of we're like Europe. If you we're a European city and state, instead of America, it's really easy to accept. It's, mañana, siesta time, kind of things like that. Slower pay. We're not America, man. They grind Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're worried about the party. We got Jazz Fest on Thursday. Got Mardi Gras on Tuesday. Don't worry about work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. No, if you think of us like a European, we might be like at the top of the European, kind of productivity chain. We're the best of all worlds. We're like Italy or Spain. But compared to Dallas or something, we're asleep. We're in the hammock. Bill Maher expected at the White House this week for dinner with President Donald Trump. I think Kid Rock had something to do with setting that up. How interesting is that? Bill Maher, who's pretty liberal, but he's not progressive, woke, or loony left. He's just a liberal. He hasn't gone the extreme route. As a matter of fact, he's very critical. And I think because he is critical, that's why Kid Rock talked to Trump. And Trump extended an invitation, and Bill Maher's not having his show this week. So I'm assuming it's because he's going to the White House for dinner and maybe he's staying at the White House overnight. I have no idea how that's going. But he is expected at dinner, at least at the White House this week. And I'm assuming that takes him out of California for a day or two. Show prep is all week long for his Friday show. So I know he doesn't have a Friday show this week, and he is expected to be at the White House this week. And I think that's pretty interesting. Trump and Bill Maher sharing dinner together. I'm going to love to hear that conversation. Coming right back.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Don't forget you can catch the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on television every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. 766-480, 9480 is how you dial us up. A lot of topics to discuss. Tomorrow, he heads up Jedco. Jerry Bologna is going to join us around 4:20. Mañana. This is good news. This is about as good as it gets. I don't know how you can do too much better than this. Kenner folks are hoping, Kenner officials are hoping IKEA opens a store where the Esplanade Mall presently sits. IKEA is a regional retailer. And IKEA at the Esplanade Mall would have folks literally coming in, especially like on weekends from Baton Rouge, from the North Shore, from as far away as Lafayette, from as far away as the Mississippi Gulf Coast, maybe Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to drive the 2.5 hours in, and we're going to spend a few hours at IKEA and buy a lot of furniture. They require about 2 million folks within 60 miles of the store. So a Kenner or Baton Rouge side of the city works better than, say, being in New Orleans East, sadly. Nothing against the East. There's not enough population going east compared to Baton Rouge, where you nearly have 1 million people. Let's go to Mandeville, the North Shore, home of Trey Yen, home of Gallagher's 527. Chris joins us. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Corey. Thanks for taking my call so quickly. Yeah, I just took quick, word on the amendments and Landry. The amendments should have passed. They would have helped the state. And I agree with Landry 100%. People are conditioned to failure for many of the reasons you pointed out throughout your show and career. But I would say this about Landry, and I'm a conservative. I mean, I am ultra conservative. But Jeff Landry is not, someone who's, to me, a great leader. This thing wasn't explained very much. But I'll say this as well. Jeff Landry screwed the pooch when he, in the first set, showed his cards of not being someone who's serious about reforming the state, just like somewhat Jindal. He stopped tort reform from passing. One of the most significant problems this state has, lawsuits, etc.
Yep.
He also refuses to put forth a real conservative government cutting agenda, which would allow us the room to cut spending and then cut the taxes we need to cut to attract the business in the industry and all the rest of it. So that's 2 strikes against him. And just one more thing. I don't have a third strike, but just yesterday on CNBC, I saw the Mississippi governor announcing
income tax
raft of economic and tax reforms, one of which is no income tax in Mississippi. Watch them thrive and watch us sink deeper and deeper into the mud, which I'll also throw at John Bell Edwards, who was probably the worst governor we've ever had as far as economic growth.
Hey, Chris, real quick.
To throw at the wall.
No. I think that's some good stuff. Real quick, though. I said what you said last week because that was the headline. Mississippi eliminating income tax, right?
Yeah, that's the first I'd heard of it.
Okay. Our income tax now is at 3%. We lowered it to 3%. It was like as high as 4.5 or 5 or something. So Mississippi lowered theirs to 4. So ours is 1% lower. In 2027 to 2030, they're going to lower it 0.25% each year. So by 2030, they'll be equal to us. Then after 2030, only if they have a budget surplus, when they have a budget surplus, will they lower the 3%. And it could go back up if they have a budget deficit. So they may never get to zero. And they're not getting to what we're at until 2030. Yet what you just said and what I reported, because that was the story in the headline. And then that night I dug deeper into it and realized, boy, what great media publicity that Mississippi got, and what a great spin. They haven't lowered their income tax to zero. It may never go to zero. New Orleans is 1%. Louisiana's is 1% lower than Mississippi's through 2030, at least, if not longer. I would say Jeff Landry will probably eliminate it if he gets elected to a second term. So, and Chris, I'm no Jeff Landry fan, and I'm not a conservative like you. I'm an independent. I like some conservative ideals. I like some liberal things. I vote both ways, but and I'm not a fan of Jeff Landry necessarily. But I don't know if the amendment should have failed or not, passed or not. I think you're right. Didn't do a great job of explaining them, but I definitely agree with the condition for failure thing. We're in agreement on probably 80% of what you said.
Roger that, Corey. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, Chris. Great stuff from Mandeville. Thanks a lot. Thank you. No, you're right on the money on just about everything you said. Just about everything. No, and if you're a staunch conservative, you probably want more of that from Jeff Landry, not the Bobby Jindal type stuff. Bobby Jindal was just now what a waste. I mean, he didn't like hit the crossroads and go the criminal way like a Cleo Fields or an Edwin Edwards, promising career. Mark Morial hit the crossroads. Do I do the legitimate route, which is hard, or do I set up friends and family, which is easy? It isn't that. He hit the crossroads of, do I continue to be a positive force in politics and a conservative voice and intelligent, or do I sell out and just be a wacky right winger? And he sold out and just went just turned off the brain. I'm not saying, nothing bad about conservative. I'm talking about wacky conservative, extreme. He went the easy route, not criminal, just not doing anything positive. He was a terrible governor. Conservatives think as much. Why do you think a Democrat got elected not once but twice after Jindal? You can thank Jindal for that. No, and he still goes on X and Twitter and makes comments like he was successful. It's mind-blowing. The last time he was successful, he was 24. Mike Foster appointed him to run hospitals in the state. He was a young, up-and-comer. That was the last time he was successful. Jindal's such a trip. Jindal weighs about $120. And you'll read a story about every 10 stories. I'm a gym rat. I live at the gym. Really? And then I love the hunting stories too. It's like, I think if he shot a 12 gauge, it'd dislocate his shoulder. I mean, Bobby Jindal's 5'10", 110. You punch Bobby Jindal in the chest, his chest collapses and you kill him. I mean, and that would be an 8-year-old boy punching him in the chest or a 12-year-old girl. Take your choice. No, Jindal's a joker. It's sad because he's smart. And if he wouldn't have sold out for whatever, I don't know what he sold out to. Just got lazy, got tired, saw the populist thing. I have no idea. Tomorrow, Jerry Bologna, I was saying, from Jedco is going to join us. Yeah, an IKEA at that old Esplanade site in Kenner would be tremendous. And then you do kind of like what Clearview Shopping Center's doing. You build apartments and, live, work, play, all that lifestyle center thing on that spot. I mean, there's like an exit to the Esplanade Mall, basically, off the I-10 that has to be developed. There's too much at stake. It's been dormant for way too long in Kenner. No, an IKEA would be tremendous. You'd be luring business around from the region. Like I said, they want to be located within 60 miles of 2 million people minimum. And when I mentioned an IKEA in New Orleans East and did a little research by the Plaza site, there aren't 2 million people within 60 miles of the Plaza. But if you go towards Kenner, and it's even fudging a little bit. That's why IKEA, they were talking about like an IKEA in Gonzales or somewhere in between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So they would hit that 2 million population within 60 miles. Kenner's a stretch. Baton Rouge from Kenner's about 70 miles away. 75 miles. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think IKEA is going to be like, within 60 miles is, the outskirts of Baton Rouge. Probably from Kenner to like Country Club of Louisiana, that's probably about 60 miles. That what exit is that? 166 on the interstate, Highland Road, Perkins Road, by Country Club of Louisiana. That's probably 60 miles from Kenner. So they want 2 million folks within 60 miles. You go out in the east, you're eliminating Baton Rouge 100%. You're adding Gulfport and Biloxi, but it's not 2 million people in that number. Going towards Baton Rouge, New Orleans Metro, about 1.2 million when you include the North Shore. North of 800,000. Throw in a little Houma Thibodeau, a little Hammond, you got north of 2 million. So that would be the reason going in that direction. Corey Johnson with you on a glorious Monday afternoon. Hard to believe after Monday morning. I mean, this morning was like, we're going to just have a crappy Monday, and then it just turned around big time. Maybe this morning you were outside, stepped in a splatter of dirt on your clothing. Go to Young's Dry Cleaning. They'll take care of you. What a great segue. I implemented the weather and puddles and dirt into that. Young's Dry Cleaning, a New Orleans institution since 1940. That should mean something. They've been around 85 years of excellence. Simply put, if you want to experience the best dry cleaner, especially if you're tired of your dry cleaner, youngsdrycleaning.com, youngsdrycleaning.com. I'm about halfway through our topics. So much more to go. Don't move.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement and manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
You know, if it's a weekday afternoon in New Orleans, it's got to be Corey Johnson.
You know, moving like a gator down Bourbon Street.
The vibe of the Crescent City, Corey Johnson.
You put Paris in the swamp, and that's New Orleans in a nutshell, baby.
I don't know about that rejoiner. I think we should trash that one.
Gotcha.
I like some parts of it, but I don't like the last part. Anyway, enough of that. Corey Johnson with you. Latin X, a.k.a. Mario Brothers, at the controls, fielding your phone calls at 766-9480. 766-9480. Tomorrow, April 1st, and I don't mean this as an April Fool's joke, lots of 70s and 80s all week long. It's 81 right now, but I'll take it because this morning was as bad as it gets. Just dark, rainy, crap weather this morning. It's like, boy, this is how we're starting Monday? And then it stopped and cleared up by lunch, and right now it's beautiful. Blue skies, nice outside. Now, here's some good news. Next week, early forecast, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, getting that week and a half, 10-day gimmick out. We'll hopefully see tomorrow, Wednesday, if it stretches into next weekend. That's vitally important because a week from this Thursday or 10 days away, next weekend, French Quarter Festival 2025. Could you imagine going to French Quarter Fest Thursday through Sunday and you wake up and it's in the 50s and then it never hits 70 degrees, it's 60s throughout the day? French Quarter Fest would have their best year. It'd be a huge economic impact for restaurants and bars and all those businesses in the French Quarter, Warehouse District, CBD, Treme, Bywater, all of that. So keep your fingers crossed. For a couple of reasons. The heat and humidity's inevitable. Summer's coming. It's going to be crappy like it always is. So the longer we can stretch our, quote, non-summer season, the 6 months from October to April, the better. April starts tomorrow. I like seeing 50s and 60s next week early. I just wanted to continue into next weekend. Yeah, a week from Thursday, French Quarter Fest. 2 weeks from Thursday, Zurich Classic. 3 weeks from Thursday, weekend number 1 of Jazz Fest. Wow. All 4 amendments fail over the weekend. Governor Landry says, we realize how positive change can be to implement in a state that's conditioned for failure. A lot of folks in Louisiana, New Orleans got mad at that, took offense to that. Thin-skinned. I embrace that. He's right. New Orleans folks and Louisiana folks, a lot of us, maybe not you and me, but a lot of us, a larger than normal or acceptable percentage conditioned for failure. There's no doubt about it. 22%, like 1 out of 5 Louisiana voters, eligible citizens voted. 22%. I don't know about you, but it's 2025. Technology exists. Safe technology. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to physically show up to vote anymore. But so many people are scared of that, and not so much for the potential of fraud. They're more scared like everyone's going to vote. Yeah, that would be ideal. Everyone voting, not just 22% of the population. I think Jeff Landry got elected by, I forget what it is, 25% of the vote. LaToya Cantrell got elected by 12% of New Orleans voters. 12%. Because no one showed up to vote. Like 28, 30% showed up. 12% of New Orleans voters voted for LaToya Cantrell. So no, voting should be like, I don't know, phone or, I don't know how to do it. I'm not a tech expert, but it's friggin' 2025. Elon Musk has rockets that go land back where they were launched, and a big clamp grabs them off the tower. I mean, we're about to go to the moon again and then maybe Mars. I'm pretty sure we can vote from afar where you don't have to physically show up. So many folks don't like that. And fraud's just part of it, the potential for fraud. The real thing is, oh my God, everybody voting? Canada puts up tariffs are a tax on you billboards. That's the essential message. In a dozen states, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and D.C. Basically, hey, tariffs are a tax. Yeah, that's one thing where I think Trump is totally out of control, this isolationism type mentality. Canada's our buddy, like our best friend, We're treating Canada like crap. It's mind-blowing. It really is. It's crazy. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Lincoln Beach meeting on Saturday. Maybe they'll get half of it open. No, not this summer. Next summer, half. And then finish it after that in, 2027, 2028. Another year wasted. 60 years of no Lincoln Beach. 40 plus years of no Pontchartrain Beach. I'm not talking about bringing back the amusement park. I'm talking about people having access to the sand beach and the water during the summer. Other cities dig fake lakes and make fake beaches. Cut off their arm to have this. Have you ever been to San Antonio? The San Antonio River?
Very nice. Yes.
Well, if you say so, I could pole vault across that thing. It's like a canal running through the town. Latinx. Fair. No, I'm just saying but you're right. They've maximized it. It's plush shops and cafes and the water's right there. It is very nice. You're right. My point is it's a ditch and they maximize with the stone and, gave it definition, runs right through the town. It's a positive. Places cut off their arms for this type of stuff. Lake Pontchartrain, Lincoln Beach, Pontchartrain Beach, West End Park, over 20 years shut down. Assets that we ignore. Me no comprende. Blue Boy, do you get it? No, he doesn't get it either. Blue Boy's just sleeping. Tomorrow, Jerry Bologna joins us. Oh, there's Blue Boy from Jedco. Maybe an IKEA coming to Kenner. That would be a blessing. What's that, Blue Boy? If you had a bowl of food in the side room, you'd eat it. You wouldn't ignore it like Lincoln Beach, Pontchartrain Beach, or West End Park. Not for 60 years, 40 years, 20 years, respectively. You'd eat that bowl of food. It's an asset. You're right, Blue Boy. That's a good one. Coming right back. Don't move.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleans. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. Now that's me. That's me, lady. The 5 o'clock power hour is upon us already. Yeah, you right. Monday afternoon. Where are we, by the way? Thank you, Drew Brees. I thought it was West We Go. I had a West We Go program planned. We're really going to break it down. Here's the West We Go show sheet. Throwing it out the window. As Drew Brees says, it's New Orleans, so it's a Metro New Orleans program. Hey, speaking of you Jefferson Parish folks, mañana, about 4:20 tomorrow afternoon, Jerry Bologna from JEDCO, the Jefferson Parish Economic Development Arm. Jerry Bologna is going to join us. There's some talk that IKEA is interested in the Esplanade site. I guess they're doing their due diligence. IKEA is pretty simple. They want about 2 million plus people within 60 miles of their stores. That's the minimum. 2 million people within 60 miles. If you want to count kind of like, getting to the outskirts of Baton Rouge, not like downtown the capital, but like, say, Highland Road, Perkins Road, by the Country Club of Louisiana, that affluent end of Baton Rouge, St. George or whatever, that area. That's about 60 miles from Kenner, about 60 miles down I-10. That Loyola exit, that Williams exit to the Highland Road, Perkins Road exit, about 60 miles roughly. So that Baton Rouge falls into that just barely for IKEA. Now, I was hyping the old Lowe's site at the plaza as a potential IKEA location. The problem is Baton Rouge is about 85 miles from there. And going the other way, Biloxi Gulfport, you don't have enough population to get it to 2 million people. You can have all of New Orleans, including the North Shore, which falls within 60 miles of New Orleans East. And you could probably squeeze in, it's a stretch, Gulfport and Biloxi, probably 60, 65, 70 miles from New Orleans East. It's just not enough population. That's not 2 million people, eliminating Baton Rouge from the equation. But going on the other side, the west side of New Orleans, instead of the eastern side, good 20, 25 miles the other way in Kenner, you bring Baton Rouge into the equation all of a sudden. And you've got north of 2 million people. Now, when I was mentioning the East and the old Lowe's site as an IKEA, that's just like a revolutionary change for the East. That's like major. That's not local. That's regional folks coming to the East to shop there. Once I did a lot of research, IKEA likes 2 million people minimum within 60 miles of the store. So we'll talk tomorrow with JEDCO's Jerry Bologna. We know IKEA has asked about the site in Kenner, the Esplanade Mall site. That would be a perfect fit. And then you kind of do the gimmick you got going on at Clearview, where you get like some Ochsner Clinic there, you get some apartments, you kind of make it a lifestyle center, work, live, play, eat, everything. Have restaurants and all that there as well, all on that spot. It's so key for Kenner. I mean, there's an exit there essentially off of I-10. You got to have the Esplanade Mall viable for so many reasons. And IKEA, problem solved. You get an IKEA with those apartments and some other things surrounding it, problem solved. And boy, what a regional get. Because people would be coming in from Houma, Thibodaux, Baton Rouge, maybe as far away as like Lafayette, Jackson, Mississippi, Gulfport, Biloxi, maybe, literally hiking in from those kind of places to get to this IKEA in Kenner at the Esplanade Mall to knock out a day of shopping. Anyway, Jerry Bologna will join us tomorrow, Jefferson Parish folks. He heads up JEDCO, the economic arm of Jefferson Parish. We'll find out about that and some other economic goodies. Boy, today started out as crappy as can be. I mean, this morning, like 8 a.m., 8:15, it was dark outside. Raining, just starting, but dark. And every vehicle had its lights on. It was like nighttime, basically. And it did come down pretty hard for a few hours. Then by late morning, it stopped. Lunchtime, it cleared up. After lunch, the clouds broke. And now it's like blue skies and nice outside. About 81 degrees, but nice. And that is kind of scary, the 81. Tomorrow's April 1st. And this isn't an April Fool's joke. 70s and 80s all week long. Yeah, we're going to be in the 80s all week. Highs in the low 80s. Ouch. But here's some good news. Looking at that longer forecast going into next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, 50s and 60s. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We need that. And ideally, we need it through next weekend, because a week from this Thursday or next weekend, 10 days away, French Quarter Fest 2025. How nice, how successful would French Quarter Fest be if we're waking up to like 58 degrees and it doesn't hit 70? It's like 65, 67, 68 every day at French Quarter Fest, like next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday predicted to be by the weathermen. And those weathermen and meteorologists, they're right on the money. Look at the washed out weekend we just had. Ooh. Wow, they messed that one up. What was I saying back on Friday or Thursday? I was like, rain expected Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I bet you at least one of those 4 days there's no rain. It happened on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Literally. It rained overnight, but not Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I got my golf in yesterday morning. It did rain some yesterday, but I got my golf in yesterday morning, when looking at Thursday is like, no shot you're getting in your activities. That's why I said, don't cancel your hunting or fishing. Don't cancel the St. Patrick's Day parade. Show up, and if it's raining, then it's canceled. Big deal. Wow, we had to show up with our stuff. We were ready to march, and it was canceled. Bummer. Better than canceling it ahead of time, and then Saturday's an awesome day. I mean, 2, 3 in the afternoon, it was breezy and cool still. Would have been a great day for a morning march. A great day for outdoor dining at Katie's right now. The weather's perfect. Why aren't you sitting outside right now at Katie's having a nice cocktail, nice drink, and then slipping into some appetizers, some great entrees? You never know what Scott Craig's going to have over there. Soft shell crabs, pompano, speckled trout, flounder. Katie's, as New Orleans as it gets. Iberville, corner Tallahassee. Take advantage of outdoor dining at Katie's. All 4 constitutional amendments fail. Governor Jeff Landry reacts to it. The reaction over the failure of the amendments, maybe over the top, blaming Soros and liberal media and all this crap. I mean, sour grapes. Don't blame others. Don't make excuses. But what the governor said afterwards, for me, it's like, forget about the amendments passing or not. Just the general thought, I agree with him. We realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that is conditioned for failure. It's true. It's true. I mean, my God. Mark Morial, Edwin Edwards, Bill Jefferson, Ilario, Heitmeyer brothers, C. Ray Nagin, Aaron Broussard, Walter Reed. You want me to stop? It just goes on and on and on. And then the ones that never got busted. I mentioned Ilario or Jack Stevens in St. Bernard. I mean, it's a joke. The inmates run the asylum. The needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. These politicians aren't civic-minded working for us in Louisiana. They're setting up themselves, their friends, their family. So we are a state that's conditioned for failure. New Orleans versus the rest of America's cities, we failed the last 40 years. Louisiana versus the rest of the country states, we don't stack up too well. We failed the last 40, 50 years. So we are a state that is conditioned for failure. Jeff Landry's right about that. You take a to that, go look in the mirror. Maybe you're part of the problem. And if you don't like the criticism, you're thin-skinned. I mean, look at reality. Look at the stats. New Orleans versus Austin, Texas. Are you kidding me? New Orleans versus Nashville. Forget about Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. Charlotte, Jacksonville. It's pathetic. And Louisiana, we're getting our butt kicked by Kentucky and Tennessee and South Carolina. It's embarrassing. So no, the governor's right. You folks taking offense, grow up. 22% of Louisiana eligible citizens voted on Saturday. It's 2025. The technology exists. Shouldn't have to physically show up to vote anymore. It's a joke. It's 2025. Seriously. And I don't think fraud is a bigger concern for a lot of extreme left and right wingers. They're more concerned with everybody gets to vote. That makes them very scared. They like it kind of more controlled, counting on folks not showing up.
Total maintenance OTM-JC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance, geeky. OTM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 505-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
As New Orleans is catching a sunset on Lake Pontchartrain.
Even the mosquitoes, they sashay through the Nolan's air.
Corey Johnson.
Oh, and when they bite you, you don't go, ow. You go, ooh.
I don't think problems are going to be solved by this meeting, but I think this meeting is a positive, and I think this meeting potentially could be the start of something. I mean, I'm also very cynical and jaded about all this too. I don't think anything's really going to change. What meeting am I talking about? Bill Maher, the comedian from his show, with his HBO program every Friday night, at 9:00 real time. Bill, and he's been doing it for decades. Before that was Politically Incorrect. He's probably been doing this format politics with comedy injected 35 years. Donald Trump invited Bill Maher to dinner at the White House this week. Bill Maher will be at the White House having dinner, conversation with President Donald Trump. I don't know. In a weird way, I think that's sort of progress for both sides. Donald Trump definitely represents the right, and Bill Maher represents the left. Kid Rock supposedly got involved and got Trump to invite Maher, and Maher accepted. And some folks are bummed out Bill Maher accepted the invitation. That's insane. I've always said this. I mean, Fox News could call me to be a correspondent and be like, hell yeah, let's go. Newsmax, One American, whatever they are. I'd go on any of those outlets. MSNBC, the opposite, the hyper-liberal folks. I'd go on those outlets. I think they're equal and opposite. I'm not a fan of MSNBC, and I'm not a fan of Fox. There are no shows or show hosts that I run to that I think are funny, entertaining, informative. I think it's just a hardcore left-wing slant and a hardcore right-wing slant. I'll land on those channels and watch for a little while, and I go in going, man, it's MSNBC, they're hyper left. Boy, it's Fox, they're hyper right. But I'd go work for either outlet. And if anyone was like, you're a sellout, dude, they're liberal crap. You're a sellout, they're conservative jerks. I'd be like, whatever. I'm going to give my point. I like your boy, who is it, Scott Jennings? I don't even watch CNN, much less those shows. They're terrible. There's a reason Joy Reid's not on anymore. She's not good. She's not good at all. Scott Jennings makes that one show, the conservative voice on the panel of like 5 liberals. And Scott Jennings is the lone conservative voice. He never gets rattled, never raises his voice, just sticks to his guns. I learn stuff from Scott Jennings all the time because he's the conservative voice on a liberal outlet. And I learn stuff from Bill Maher all the time, because Bill Maher will bring on conservative opposing views. I mean, I don't even remember the show very much, but I remember I watched a little of it. But it was, 25 years ago, and I was more into like sports talk than political or news talk. But Hannity and Combs, where you had a left and a right-wing guy, I thought that was brilliant. And everybody's scared of that now. There's no Hannity and Combs. Well, why wouldn't Scott Jennings versus 4 liberals? I mean, it's not fair, but he has no problem with it and shows up every day, and he brings the good fight. I think it is tremendous that Donald Trump invited Bill Maher to the White House for dinner. I think it's tremendous that Bill Maher accepted the invitation. And if conservatives think Trump's a sellout for inviting liberal Bill Maher, the hell with them. And if the liberals think Bill Maher's a sellout for going to have dinner with Trump, the hell with them. It's bigger than you extremists. I think this is a positive. We'll see where it goes. I mean, Bill Maher's an honest guy. I mean, he said, if they expect me to be walking out with a MAGA hat, they're going to be very disappointed, but I don't think they're expecting that. I think the reason they have Bill Maher going in there because they respect Bill Maher, because Bill Maher says the exact kind of stuff that I say about Democrats and liberals. He says it from a liberal point of view. He's like, he embraces being a liberal. I like some liberal ideals and I like some conservative ideals. Bill Maher and I aren't the same ideology-wise. I'm a little right of Bill Maher. But the stuff about the hyper woke and loony left and take Lincoln's name off of a school building and Latinx and all this crazy, insane, overthinking, just obnoxious crap. Elitist mentality, entitlement mentality. No adult wants another adult telling them how it is, explaining to them like, they're the teacher and you're the pupil. No one wants that unless you go to school. There's the teacher, there's the professor. I'm learning from them. I know my role. I'm the pupil. But in everyday life, you don't want somebody telling you how it is. And that's what liberals tend to do, the extreme left. The extreme right's just like sizzling bacon. And then the extreme left's like, it's actually fat from a pig. And what you're doing, you're frying, and the frying causes splatter of grease. The oil is toxic, and then you're polluting the air by using heat and energy to cook some bacon fat, pig fat. No one wants to hear all that crap. They just want to hear sizzling bacon. 766-9480 is the phone number. 766-9480. Boy, a slew of topics. All 4 amendments fail. Governor Landry says citizens of the state, conditioned for failure, conditioned to lose. I think he makes a good point. Only 22% of Louisiana's eligible citizens voted. It's 2025. Seriously, shouldn't we be able to vote by not being in person at a voting booth in 2025? And I don't think people are scared of fraud. They're scared of everybody voting. The extreme left and the extreme right both are fearful of everybody voting. Canada putting up billboards in about a dozen states and Washington, D.C., essentially with just a tariffs or a tax on you theme. Tariffs are a tax on you. It's amazing. It's very hard to find a list of countries and what the tariffs are on us and Trump's new tariffs and what they are on those countries. And if it is just reciprocating, if it's equal and opposite. And I'd venture to say it's not equal and opposite. I think there's some countries that you could argue, are taking advantage of us or have a higher tariff on their goods than us, but it's some developing country, like we're tossing them a bone. We're trying to get their economy going so they become more westernized like us. And then there are countries where I'm sure the tariffs are equal, or we may have a tariff on more stuff than they do because we, bring in more stuff from that country than we send to that country, like China maybe. So that's what sucks about Donald Trump as president. You can love him and vote for him all day. I'm not dogging him like he's the devil or something. I'm just saying what sucks about Donald Trump as president, he loves to talk crap. I call it Trump talk, and it basically equals BS. He just talks, and you never know. Like the hardcore Trump person doesn't care. But people like me that want to know are like, is it real or is he just talking crap? And then the hardcore Trump person, it's funny. I don't know what it is, like osmosis or something. They're like, oh, that was real. That was a joke. That one he means. That one he doesn't. It's like, wow. When did he send up was he wearing a red tie or a blue tie that day that gave you the signal? Wasn't wearing socks. Didn't have a tie on at all. That means it's all BS that day. He's just joking to irritate liberals. So no, what sucks about Trump is you never know if he's telling the truth or not. You never know if what he's saying is real or just made up. It's like constant fact check. And it doesn't matter. So I don't know what, first off, I'm not into taxing, and tariffs are a tax on us. They're a tax on us. There's no way around it. It seems like, I'm a great deal maker, then work to lower the tariffs. But I'm sure he'd say that's why I'm raising them, to force these people to the table, and then we'll lower them overall. We'll see. Anyway, I just don't. With Donald Trump, I think even if you're a huge Trump supporter, you got to be like, Corey's right. I mean, I don't know if he's saying it's true or not. Saturday, a Lincoln Beach meeting took place in the East. Maybe they'll have it half open next year. Not this summer, not in like 2 months, which is mind-blowing. Another year wasted, 60 plus years, no Lincoln Beach, no access to the sand and the lake. It's crazy. Maybe half of it open in about 15 months for next summer 2026, and then maybe they'll have it finished by summer 2027. Nothing on Pontchartrain Beach. Lincoln Beach closed for 60 plus years. Pontchartrain Beach for 40 plus. They had a plan a few years ago. It looked great. It just went away. Nothing on West End Park either. That's been closed for 20 plus. That's some crazy stuff. I was about to use the Spanish word for poop, the curse word. Starts off with a M-E, I guess. M-E or M-I?
M-I, technically.
M-I, yes. Sounds like M-E, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it has sort of a duh at the end, right?
Yes, that part you nailed it.
Yeah,
yes.
so I'm going to leave the middle out. But it's a slur, right? It's not poop.
It's a slur, no.
It's the S word,
yes,
right?
If there was a Spanish language FCC, that would be all over you.
Yeah. Well, I think there is.
Oh.
And I've got the Arabic word for it, too. Starts with a sound. And it also ends in duh, believe it or not. I wonder why. Both end in a duh. Both the Arabic and
there's a Middle Eastern
Spanish
restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monitor. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson, where the grass hasn't been cut in weeks or months. There's a lot of trash and garbage on the neutral ground, maybe even a person or two taking a nap. And oh, someone didn't pick up the dog.
Yeah, you right. 766-9480 is the phone number. That rain didn't affect me this morning. Blowing, knocking those oak tree leaves onto my roof, down into my gutter. Nope, not into my gutter. On top of my gutters, on top of the leaf guard system. Get it and forget it. You'll never have to clean your gutters again. Audubon Gutters. For nearly 35 years, New Orleans' own Audubon Gutters, the Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. All they do is gutters. You need gutters for your home or business? AudubonGutters.com, a no-brainer. New Orleans' own AudubonGutters.com. Seriously, why would you go with anyone else? That was a no-brainer. Easy choice for me. Tomorrow, 70s and 80s, all week, 80s, all week. Right now, like 82 degrees. Good news, 50s and 60s to start next week. Let's hope it fades into next weekend, 50s and 60s, because next weekend, 10 days away, French Quarter Fest 2025 cranking up. The 4 men's Final Four teams are set. I think 3 of the 4 women are set. I think they got one more game for the 4th and final team. Brett Martell's been writing for the Associated Press for nearly 30 years. How you doing, Brett?
I'm great, Corey. How are you?
Doing well. 30 years almost, Brett. One gig. You're a rarity in the United States of America these days.
I suppose. It'll be 29 years in July.
That's incredible. Where has that job taken you, Brett?
Well, it started in the Charleston, West Virginia Bureau in July 96. Then I transferred to New Orleans in 99. Since I've been in New Orleans, I've had a handful of international assignments, including to Athens, Turin, Germany, Brazil, and Russia.
World Cups, Olympics.
Yeah. And then every now and then I'll travel when a Louisiana team makes it really far. Of course, I covered the Saints winning the Super Bowl in Miami. And, I covered LSU women losing the Final Four in Cleveland the year Bob Starkey had to take over because Pokey Chapman got fired right before the NCAA tournament.
Brett, I looked in a crystal ball, and you were like going to be in 5 or 6 other locations, moving like every 3 to 4 years into the 2000s and beyond, all kind of national and even international spots. But you hooked up with a local South Louisiana, New Orleans girl, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how it works, Brett. I meet somebody like you. Brett's originally from Maine. And anytime I meet somebody, a male that's not from here, and they live here, I'm like, and you married a local girl? They're like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, economic opportunity's not all that great down here. Not every job's available. But you got the perfect gig working for the AP. You can work anywhere in the world, right?
Well, I'm just glad that they still have a presence in New Orleans. I mean, most major cities have an AP bureau. And then a lot of, nations capital around the world have nations capitals around the world have AP bureaus as well. In major financial centers too. So, like Shanghai or Hong Kong, so forth. Contract to be a foreign correspondent maybe, but I'm married a girl from New Orleans, and now my daughter goes to the same high school that she went to.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I'm kind of a brain.
Yeah, you're not a native, but you're an official New Orleanian. That's for sure. Hey, Brett, it doesn't happen very often, but it's happened before, and it's happened this year. All 4 number 1 seeds on the men's side are in the Final Four. All 4 1 seeds.
Yeah, and I know that everybody wants to say that it's proof that the NIL era is causing the top teams to dominate. But it's only 1 year, so I mean, I think it's too small of a sample size.
Yep.
But certainly that could be the case. I think there's more that still has to shake out, especially after they start instituting that house settlement, which will kind of set, a salary cap effectively per institution athletic department. They'll have a certain amount of money they can spend across all sports, and they'll have to make decisions.
No, there has to be some federal oversight because, Brett, right now, college sports, they're more wide open than pro sports. I mean, pro sports, you get compensation, you're under contract, you can't just leave anytime. College sports, you leave anytime, transfer portal, it's crazy. So it can't be like horse racing and boxing state to state. There needs federal legislation.
Yeah, it's the Wild West right now too. Yeah, not consistent. So, you're exactly right. Though I think professional football players now are more restricted than college football players, and it's making it very hard on. I mean, you don't want to feel too bad for college coaches because they do make a lot of money for coaching football. But they're scrambling to get their roster together year after year after year, and there's millions of dollars being spent that used to go into facilities that would have, a decade or two lifespan. And now that might just be like 1 year and the player's gone, and the money's gone too. And then you have to find it again.
Now, who would think LSU could lose a committed football recruit because another school was willing to pay him $10 million?
Right,
it's just
like the Michigan, right?
Yeah, just crazy.
So, yeah, that's the classic example. But yeah, look, I mean, players, they do have to weigh, I think, in addition to the short-term financials, they have to be able to weigh, the relationships, the system, all these things that go into helping them develop as pros and, or develop into good pros, I should say. But it seems like right now that it's not really happening that way because there's also no rules on the agents, right? Like NFL players' agents can only make a certain percentage, and they're not as incentivized to just keep going for the biggest possible payday year after year after year. They have to agree to a contract, and sometimes they have to, the player has to figure what system gives them the most longevity and so forth. Whereas you've got all of these unscrupulous, unlicensed agents basically trying to get their college clients, and they're taking a large percentage too of the payouts. Way larger than NFL agents get.
Right.
They're incentivized to have them be like what do you call it? Just going for the biggest payday every year after year after year.
That's a big point you make. Like another egregious level. No, exactly. The agents at the professional level, I mean, the percentages. I think it's like 1 or 2% of the total contract, maybe like 6% of the bonus, something like that. And in college sports, it's double-digit percentages. It's crazy. When you have a high school showing up in a gull-wing Lamborghini to the signing day, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, so it's they definitely need to get a handle on it. But anyway, getting back to your point, so this year, it is kind of sad that there are no Cinderellas in the Final Four. However, the ratings are expected to be huge for this Final Four because you have teams that everybody knows. Even casual fans are interested in those teams, especially because they're playing a like team. So it's all powerhouses going against one another, except for maybe Houston would be the exception. But Houston has been really good in basketball for a long time. So they're going to be compelling matchups, at least, hopefully competitive ones. And we'll see what happens on the men's side. Of course, the women's side won't be set until later tonight.
Yep. Still got one more game. The men's side, SEC came through. They had 14 total teams. 2 of them make the Final Four. So I think they end up that was the right call. Hey, Brett, on the women's side, LSU gets knocked out by UCLA. What did you think of Mulkey with the KLSU reporter yesterday? I thought the KLSU reporter legitimate question, and Malky turns it on. Have you ever been to a Final Four? I mean, I wish that was me. I'd be like, no. But what's that got to do with me asking a legitimate question to you? I'm a Final Four reporter, Coach. Have you ever done any reporting? That would have probably been my reply.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with him, and I think this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen as a coach. Really smart tactically, as well as having a handle on having a handle on our players and what they can handle emotionally. Most of them, not all of them now, but I really like him as a coach, and I think he's a compelling personality. But he does have that issue that some other coaches seem to have, which is they think they can do because they're so good at their job.
Yep.
They think they would be better at other people's jobs than those people are, and so they start talking down to them about things that they've really never done themselves and don't know what they're talking about, and it makes them seem kind of either defensive or arrogant or silly. Now, I don't think that that's really the essence of Kim, but I think in that situation, it's not a good look for her to be. I mean, she just really just try to answer the question as best she can, instead of trying to intimidate the reporter or make the reporter feel stupid. So, I don't think it doesn't serve the public interest, to do that.
Yeah. No, agreed.
So,
but she's a great coach, great for LSU, earns her $3 million plus, great recruiting class. They'll be right back in the hunt next year for Final Four, national title, all that good stuff. Hey, Brett, how can folks check out your stuff via the AP?
Well, AP News, the AP News app is a great free app for any smartphone. Gives you news from all over the world. We're talking, Middle East, Ukraine, Washington, D.C., right? The White House. Well, no, not the White House. That's right. We got kicked out of the White House, didn't we?
Well, yeah, just temporarily. That's Brett Martell. Always a pleasure, Brett. See you next week. Uh-oh. What's going on?
The next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
TM-JC.com, your cool spot. TM-JC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground. Roll call. Kenner, Metairie, Harahan, River Ridge, Algiers, Gretna, Harvey, Terrytown, West Wego. We got you covered.
Yes, we do. We got you covered. So does Helm Paint and Decorating. Literally has you covered. Great weather coming up the next few days, like 50s and 60s next week. 70s and 80s, a little warm, 70s and 80s all week long. Great painting weather. Get your crew together, knock out that paint job in New Orleans or in Baton Rouge. Helm Paint and Decorating, Benjamin Moore Paint, free 2-hour delivery so you or your crew can keep working in New Orleans or Baton Rouge when it's time to paint. Helm Paint and Decorating. Monday afternoon edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Tomorrow, Jerry Bologna is going to join us from JEDCO, the economic arm over in Jefferson Parish. Some positive talk about the Esplanade site in Kenner. Keep your fingers crossed for this. This is like problem solved if you get this. IKEA has been inquiring about that site. An IKEA furniture store would be tremendous for Kenner. I mentioned a while back IKEA for the old Lowe's location at the old Plaza site, I-10 at Reed in the East. That would be revolutionary for the East. Could you imagine if New Orleans East had an IKEA where the Plaza site is and a Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, where the Six Flags site is? New Orleans East all of a sudden would draw in folks from the region. No one from the region goes to New Orleans East. I mean, they might go to Dong Fong Bakery. They might have some work at Folgers or at NASA. But otherwise, there's nothing in the East, nothing that attracts people from the region to go to New Orleans East. And that's a major problem because there are folks that go to like Lakeside Mall, you know, from around the region. There are things in Jefferson. There are obviously tourist city things in New Orleans. Nothing in New Orleans East. You had a Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's at Six Flags. You had a IKEA at the Plaza site. You would draw folks to New Orleans East like we've never seen before. We haven't seen since the heyday of the Plaza, 70s and 80s. Instead, because of a lack of leadership, you steer the Goodwill store to that old Schwegmann's that's closed down on Bullard, kind of in the back, that red brick Schwegmann's, because it's a Goodwill store. It's a destination. People want to go there. They're going to find it. It doesn't need to be on the interstate. That's where you want something high profile, like an IKEA, something like that. Anyway, after doing research, there probably never would have been an IKEA in the Plaza in the East because IKEA demands a minimum 2 million people within 60 miles of the store. 2 million people within 60 miles of the store. You go west of New Orleans, like Kenner and even closer to Baton Rouge, you clearly have the 2 million. There's 1.3 in Metro New Orleans. There's 800, 900,000 in Metro Baton Rouge. You throw in Hamahoma, Thibodeau, you're clearly over 2 million. But that's west of New Orleans. East of New Orleans, you're taking Baton Rouge and that 900,000 folks out of the equation, and you're replacing them with Biloxi Gulfport, maybe 400,000 folks. So you're under the 2 million, even with the North Shore and Houma and Thibodeau. You're under the 2 million within 60 miles of an IKEA at the Plaza site. But you're not under 2 million people with an IKEA on the other side of the city, the western side of the city, bringing Baton Rouge into the equation at the Esplanade site in Kenner. So IKEA reportedly has inquired about the Esplanade site. Jedco's Jerry Bologna will join us on the program tomorrow to discuss that and a whole lot more. Yeah, I mentioned 80s, the high, all week long. We will get into the 80s every day this week. That means you're going to be running air conditioning. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 50s and 60s. That means overnight you're going to be running heat most likely. If you need air conditioning or heat help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. 40 years, sterling reputation. Check with the Better Business Bureau. They got a great rep. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. Those three things, that's all you need. Honest AC and heating experts diagnosing it right, and they come immediately, like right away, because you're stressed out. Your AC or heat's not working. Think Total Maintenance in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, tm-ac.com. If you need AC or heat help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. tm-ac.com. Boy, what a full slate we had today. Endless topics. 4 constitutional amendments fail over the weekend. Governor Landry says, we realize how hard positive change can be to implement in a state that's conditioned for failure. He's right. A lot of folks are taking offense to that. I say it's thin-skinned New Orleanians and Louisiana folks. Forget about the constitutional amendments failing or passing. Just that thought about a state that is conditioned for failure. It's true. We elect Edwin Edwards, Bill Jefferson, Mark Morial, the Hilario Heitmeyer brothers, Aaron Broussard, go on and on. Ray Nagin. Just crazy. So conditioned for failure, I think that's accurate. I think thin-skinned Louisianians took offense to Landry. And then there's a lot of people that just don't like Jeff Landry. I'm not a big fan of Jeff Landry, but he's right. Only 22% of Louisiana eligible citizens voted, like 1 out of 5 on Saturday. It's 2025. The technology exists. We shouldn't have to physically show up to vote anymore. And don't worry about fraud. Folks don't worry about fraud. They're worried about everybody voting. Too many dummies. I don't want them voting. Both left and right think that way. Canada putting up billboards in like a dozen states in D.C. saying, tariffs are a tax on you, America. Tomorrow, Jedco's Jerry Bologna joins us on the show. Could an IKEA be coming to the Esplanade Mall? If that happens, problem solved. Problem solved. What's that, Blue Boy? Thank Mario Brothers for running the program. And what else? Remind folks to tune in tomorrow, Tuesday edition of the program, straight up 4 o'clock. Thank you, Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.